Hi everyone, welcome back to Java 1 for All. And in this video, we are going to talk about multidimensional arrays. So, multidimensional arrays is just arrays of arrays, and I think it's a powerful feature. Probably you are going to use something from collections that's called map in your work, but it's a good idea to understand the concept of having arrays of arrays. Before we start, let's create a new class here. Alt insert, press enter. It will be class 08, and we can say arrays. Let's add multi-dimensional arrays 01. Okay, so let's start pretty simple. Imagine that we have an array, and this array will be called days. And let's say that we would like for each position of the array to store the number of days in a month. So if we have, we would like to kind of have them together, we could do something like this. So we have from 0 to 11, 12 positions. Remember, index always starts with 0. So let's say, okay, days on position 0, that would be a reference to January. We have to store like 31. And for example, days position 1 could be February, and let's say 28 or 29. So basically, well, this could work, but imagine that instead of having numbers inside each one of these positions, I would like to have another array, and the number of positions would be the number of days. So things can get a bit more complicated. So let's understand how arrays of arrays they work, and later on we will see how we can actually make use of this functionality of having different sizes. So let's copy this one. I will start pretty simple with 3, and I will copy this. And I think once you can try, you can draw the how you work with arrays without having to code it. It means that you probably have a really good understanding. So my advice is, if you are struggling with arrays, try to actually put it on a paper and explain to someone else. That probably it will make a lot of sense if you're having any problems. Okay, so basically what we have here is just an array, and we saw how that works already. I will do this. I think I cannot delete just one tiny version or one tiny block. Yeah, I cannot. Let's skip 3 then. So basically, this, in the end, you know that will create a space in memory. That's an array with 3 positions. And each one of these positions, they will have a default value 0 because it is an integer. So when we're talking about arrays of arrays, we first start with the syntax. And technically, you just have to add one extra bracket, and now you have arrays of arrays. So quick thing here, the position of this bracket could be here or could be here, and this one also could be here. So this is actually the same thing as having them together. Which one should you pick? This one, definitely. You won't see really good Java developers doing something like having this bracket right here. So you can have actually multi-dimensions. You could have several of them as long as you also add on this side. But let's start with 2 dimensions, and then it's easier for us to go on. And another thing, you see that we are not having compilation errors. If I do execute this code, it will work without any problems, because the rule is at least the base array, you need to have this size. So this size should be here, otherwise you have a compilation error and you cannot add it here. So this is the base of your array. Okay, so now let's see what this line is actually doing. So let's give a number here. So we are saying that we have a base array of 3 positions, and each one of these positions, they will have a reference to another array of 3 positions. So let's see how that works. Now, I have this line right here, and basically I'm doing this. Now, I still have the same position same size. That's 3. That's the base. This is the first part. But now these are not integers anymore because they are going to make reference to another array. So the type of each one of these squares, the space in memory, will be this. So the space in memory here is having a reference to another array. And well, you know that here, if I move this down a little bit, you still have your position. So basically here 0, 1, and 2. So how that works? Now we are saying that each one of these blocks, they have a reference to another array, and each one of these arrays will have 3 positions, 3 blocks, size 3 as well. So basically it will look like this now. So position 0 will have a reference here to this array. Position 1 will have a reference to this array. Let me move this up. Okay, so let's start with position 2 and then position 1. Okay, so each one of these will have a reference to another array, and then these arrays, yes, they will be the ones holding the value that will be integer. So 0 here, because this is the full value. Now, how do we actually see this happening? So if we go back and we say, okay, so my array, that's days, on position 0, if I just try to print this, let's add here south, and let's print this guy. Now, what is inside position 0? Position 0 is this one. Now, what is inside here? It's a reference to another array. So you can see, so basically this is what's going on here. The type is array, and this is the value that we have inside. That's a reference to another space in memory with 3 positions. So if I now want to get the value, position 0, 0. So basically position 0, and each one of these will have another reference to another position. So 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 0 will be now Ctrl+Shift+F10, 0. So basically, I can put some values. Let's say 0, 0. Let's give a random number here. Well, let's say that this is January. And then 0, 1, 0, 2, February, March. So 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2. So basically here 31, 28, and then here we have 31 again. And then it comes now position 1, and 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2. So I will copy this. So 1, 0, 1, 1, and kind of 1, 2, for example. And for the third position as well. So I will just change this to 2, so it will be easier for us to understand. Okay, so you can see that there is a pattern here. Basically, we first have the first position on the base array, this one, and then we have to go over everything that is inside the referenced array. Well, we can start doing some stuff right now. For example, iterating over it automatically. So basically, we have 2 indexes, 0, and I want to go to the base array length, days.length, and then I++. So basically, starting with 0 until I is lower than length, that's 2, go 1 by 1. So if I print here, days position I, Ctrl+Shift+F10, we will get 2 spaces. Whoops. We have a 3 here, so basically let's go back this to 3. Ctrl Shift F10. Don't want to change it. So basically now we have here 3 positions being displayed in the console that represents this array right here. But now I would like to go over the arrays that we have here. So basically what we have to do, we have to create another for loop. Now I will just remove this line. So basically we have to kind of hold the first position like 0 0 0 1 0 2, and then we are going to iterate over the second one. So basically we have to hold each one of the positions for the base array and iterate over whatever this array is referencing. So for that we will create another for. It's pretty common to have I and j. So j now from 0 until what? Well, I don't know this size, but I know the position of this one, and I know that this one is having a reference to another array. So basically I can say, hey, I would like to get the position that I'm having a reference to, and then print the length. So basically 0, what's the array that 0 is having a reference to? This array. And what is the size? What is the length? 3. So this is what we have here. Then when I is 1 or 2, we are going to do the same. I is 1, and then we will get a reference to this one. Why I'm doing this and not just hard coding? Because the arrays that we have here, they can have different sizes. This one could be 3, this one could be 4, this one could be 1. So not necessarily they need to be exactly the same size as the base array. And now we just print the values. So days, position, I, and then j. So how does this for works? I will add a breakpoint here, and you will see that it will go over everything that you have here, and then when this finishes, it will go back to the outside for. Shift F9. So as you can see down here, I is 0, j is 0. So based on what we have displayed here in the draw.io, we have 0 0 will be 31. So we can see if we press F8 and click on console, 31. But now I'm not going to the external for yet. I'm still inside the internal for. And I will press F8. Now j is 1. And keep going. J is 2. And this will now finish because the size is exactly what the condition is evaluating. And I will go back to the I, and it will proceed to the next one. So now 1 0 1 1 1 2 3, and then it will go back to the outside for again. And now it will go over to 0 to 1 to 2, and now this will finish because the size is 3, and then the program is over. So as you can see, we do have 0 0 0 because we only assigned for the first 2 arrays. It's what you have here. So this is my advice. Try to change the size and draw whatever you are trying to achieve before you start coding, so you understand how the array they are working when we have arrays of arrays. Okay, so let's stop for now because there are more stuff to talk about. I just don't want to get heavy on the first video about multidimensional arrays. So see you in the next one. Bye.